How is it that top-performing entrepreneurs get better results by taking a simpler but counterintuitive path? That's the question at the heart of 10x is Easier Than 2x by Dan Sullivan and Dr. Benjamin Hardy. It's a book I reread every year because the insights have completely changed the way I think about growth. And if you're new here, hi, my name is Bailey. I went from being a college student with a crazy idea to building a venture-backed startup and landing on Forbes 30 Under 30. On this channel, we talk about the startup journey, performance, and how to achieve more without burning out. In this video, I'm sharing my 3 biggest takeaways from the book and exactly how I've applied them inside my company to get better results in less time. Let's start by defining our terms. If I asked you what it would take to accomplish 2 times more than what you're already doing, you might look for ways to work twice as much. 2x thinking is about improvement, doing more of what you're already doing, but doing it better. However, that strategy is impossible when it comes to 10x thinking, because you probably can't work 10 times more hours and still run your life. Achieving 10 times the results should actually feel impossible given your current strategy and approach. That's why 10x thinking is so transformative. It's about letting go of 80% of what you're doing so you can go all in on the 20% that actually drives results. 2x thinking is grounded in efficiency. It's the mindset that keeps you adding more to your to-do list and calling it growth. 10x thinking, on the other hand, is about clarity. It simplifies your focus so you can scale what actually works. The authors argue that 10x is easier because it eliminates everything that drains your energy and divides your attention. It's not about working more. It's about working on what matters most. So how do you actually make the shift from 2x to 10x? It starts with the 80-20 principle, identifying the 20% of your work that creates 80% of your results. From there, your job is to design your life and schedule around your unique ability. That's the thing that you're naturally great at, love doing, and that makes the biggest difference when you're the one doing it. When I applied this strategy to my startup, I realized I was spending way too much time in meetings, product details, and inbox chaos. So I asked myself, if I could only focus on one thing that would move the business forward, what would that be? For me, that one thing started with the product, understanding the needs of public safety agencies and creating the right solution. The next year, my one thing was fundraising, and then sales, and then it was customer success. Now it's about marketing and getting the word out about Perimeter. So I've had to reshape my calendar around those things. I've had to learn to say no more often, to delegate, which I honestly have done kicking and screaming, and to create better systems. This has helped me to focus on the 20% that really moves the needle for us as a company. The third lesson that really stuck out to me is that the bigger your vision, the easier your decisions become. Trying to grow 2x feels responsible, it feels manageable, and it feels possible. But it's a trap. It's a trap because it tricks us into thinking that we can keep everything, just push a little harder, get a little faster, multitask a little more. But if you want radically different results, you need a radically different approach. 10x forces you to shed the layers, to quit being the bottleneck, to lead from a vision of what might be possible, not just from the habit of what has been working today. 2x tries to make the past more efficient. 10x demands that you embrace a bigger vision. It doesn't just change how you work, it changes how you think. So now I ask myself questions like, am I focusing on the 20% that will deliver 10x results? And does this task align with my unique ability? Overall, 10x thinking forces you to build systems that work without you, while you become the best in the world at your unique ability. It also makes decisions easier, because when you're clear on your vision, the right path stands out. 10x eliminates the noise because it filters everything through a much higher standard. So if you're stuck trying to grow incrementally, maybe it's time to ask yourself a bolder question. What would 10x growth actually look like for me? What would it require? And what would you have to let go of in order to get there? Drop it in the comments and let's talk about it. And if the idea of doing less but better is resonating with you right now, check out my video on The One Thing. It's another book that I reread every year and it feels just as eye-opening as this one. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.